Hi, hello, welcome back. My name is Devraj. Welcome back to this series on bioenergetics, our journey around the body and looking at how we can release holding from the body and so doing leave us feeling more clear and light inside, how we can improve and make more authentic our personality without psychoanalysis, without having to go to the mind. And today I want to look at some lower body release exercises, in fact a sequence of 4 exercises that you can run together to create quite a strong release from around the belly, the pelvis, the pelvic floor and the legs. And where this is particularly useful, or rather, a question I get asked a lot is, how can I get rid of my neediness? I feel really needy and I'm worried that it's really unattractive to the opposite sex and I just don't want to feel neediness anymore. And you can approach that kind of thing from psychology and all sorts of behavioral therapies and stuff like that. But I'm just going to look at it from the perspective of body energy and body work, essentially. And one way to perceive or understand neediness is when there's too much energy, essentially, too much awareness and vitality caught up in the top half of the body. And you cannot really experience a grounding in life when you're just moving around. And so to get a grounding, you need to literally cling on to someone else. You literally need to cling on to someone else. You need someone deeply in your life in order to pull you back down, in a sense. And so a way that we can look at alleviating this and correcting this issue in terms of body dynamics and energy dynamics, bioenergetics, is by opening up down here, opening up this area of the body so that all this energy that's caught up in the top half of your body, in your mind, in your chest, up here, can start to flow to earth, which is where it's meant to go, But we acquire blocks over time, and that's why we get too much energy caught up in the top half. It can create a lot of anxiety, it can create a lot of neediness in our life. And just to mention before we go any further, just a little bit about neediness. It's not that the ideal state is to be totally without needs. That's not realistic. We are social beings. It is natural to want friendships and to have friendships. It is natural to want lovers and to have lovers. And it is natural to, lovers or a partner, natural to want to have a role in society, a job. So, the aim here is not to just completely leave you like totally without any needs, but not that you are excessively needy. And using these lower body stretches and openings, it's not solely for neediness, that is just one aspect. It will create a far greater integration in your being and you will feel far more whole, grounded, real and present if you do these stretches regularly. Okay, so let's get to it. What we're basically going to do is a series of 4 stretches which are all done lying down, and they're basically moving your legs into different positions and then really breathing and feeling, the same as we do with all the rest of bioenergetics. There's always got to be a lot of focus, not just on the posture, but that you're really present in your body as much as you can be, and that you're breathing through the mouth, feeling. Okay, that's what creates this release over time. What you're going to need is a yoga mat rolled up. I happen to have one here, very handy, which we're going to call a bolster. If you have a real bolster, which is a kind of anything which you can use to lie over to create a bit of resistance, then all the good. But a yoga mat is absolutely fine for this exercise. And usually it's about right. When you're a bit more experienced, maybe you need to create a bit more stretch. You could get a thicker yoga mat, or you could get 2 yoga mats and roll them up together. But to start, you can get a phenomenal amount of opening just using a good old Common and Garden $10, £10 yoga mat. Then you need a bit of floor and some loose clothing and a bit of carpet there, or a second yoga mat, so you're not just lying on something totally hard. And then the first stretch we're going to do, this sequence of 4, is to lie on and allow my back. I'm kind of doing this at a slightly oblique angle, so hopefully you can see it. And if you've been following this series, you may be familiar with this individual stretch. Now I've got this yoga mat bolster underneath my lower back. My tailbone is on the floor. And then in this pose, I have my arms relaxed to the side, palms up is generally the most open. Head on the floor, shoulders on the floor. tailbone reaches to the floor. If your tailbone doesn't reach to the floor, that's okay. It's okay. Then with the soles of my feet, I'm going to press them gently together and allow my knees to just come naturally to the sides. And in this position, I just relax, breathe and feel, eyes closed. And when you're doing these postures in reality, it's probably good to put on like a 45-second or 1-minute ding to start with, to cycle through them. This is posture number 1. Okay, posture number 2. I'm going to lift my tailbone up a little bit just so I can move this mat, move my bolster to right under the tailbone. And then posture number 2, I'm going to bring my knees, have my knees bent, and bring my knees towards my chest, gently pulling with my hands. Very gently, don't really stretch here. Your knees and your ankles should be together, touching, ideally. If your knees don't quite touch, it's okay, gently stretch in that direction as well. It's a very gentle stretch. You'll notice what we're doing is a counter stretch for the lower back here. Now the tailbone is up instead of the lower back being up. And at the same time, we're compressing a little bit into the belly, where often there's a lot of tension. Just gently squeezing. Don't overdo this. Don't tug at it. Just very gently, maybe on the out breath, pull a little bit more firmly, using your hands clasped around your knees. And again, do it breathing and feeling, staying in your body, breathing through the mouth. You know, you're not doing it like some kind of a hardcore yogic exercise. You're really breathing and feeling nice and deep. Without that element, not much is going to happen. Okay, that's the second one. Then the third one, we're going to leave our bolster where it is. And this time we're going to stretch the feet right up. Arms now by the side, again open. And we make our legs vertical, like 90 degrees to the body. And we stretch the legs towards straight, pushing the heels up. Pushing the heels up. Pushing the heels up. You can't quite see my feet, but my feet are basically, the soles are towards the, I'm not pointing my toes, the soles are towards the ceiling. Stretching like this, and again, breathe and feel. Head is on the mat, shoulders are on the mat. Push, heels up, and really stretch those legs. Breathe and feel. You might find that some shaking comes into your body. That's good if that happens. You know, keep those legs up for a length of time. And then the final one of these 4 stretches, from this pose, all you do is bring your legs to the side, stretching the thighs, opening up the belly again. So you got your legs straight and at 90 degrees, but now you're stretching them to the side. And then whenever the ding comes or you're ready, and it's good to do it with a ding, you go around again. So you'll notice that the first of those stretches, I had the bolster under my lower back, and then for the next 3, it's under the tailbone. So if I'm going to start again, I bring it back to the lower back, get back in this pose, and we go around again. So I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to demonstrate these 4 stretches, and you can work with them. I will do a workout video for this very shortly, working with a 1 or 1.5 minute ding, so you can follow along. But feel free to give it a go. And like I say, it's probably best to use a ding track. Start with maybe 30, 45 seconds, something like that. See how that is for you. And yeah, something like I also should mention, when you do at least 3 repetitions. So you're going through this sequence of 4 exercises 3 times in a row without a break. And then to close it, what is good is a sequence of 2 exercises, which you can do for a little longer. And the first is, you take your bolster to the side, like I just did. You plant your feet on the floor with the feet just touching, but planted, the soles planted on the floor like that. Yeah, you can see it. And then you gently let your knees come to the side, a bit like in psoas release. And see if there's a point. This is not a stretch, this is just gently letting your knees come to the side and seeing if there's a point where a natural kind of shaking just starts to happen. It's quite extreme, it can be. You know, it might come in your legs, it might come in your tailbone, it might come a little bit sideways, but you just allow that. It's good to give yourself like 5 minutes of that. Just letting your knees come to the side until they hit the point where some vibration comes, and then just staying in that, breathing through the mouth and feeling your body. And then after that, you can do up to 5, 10, 15 minutes of that if you've got time, but do a little bit, do at least 5 minutes after the sequence. And then just to completely complete, just stretch your whole body out and relax. Stretch your legs right out, head on the floor, eyes closed, just relax for at least 5 minutes, just to close. Palms up is usually good. It keeps your chest more open. Okay, so this is a great series of stretches to work with, particularly if you've been following along with my bioenergetics. You've been doing a lot of bow and arch and 5-position release, all excellent work, but adding these stretches in as well, like after the bow and arch or 5-position release, will really help to ground all that energy that's coming up, open up your pelvic floor and leave you feeling much more present and grounded throughout the day. So do some work with this. I'm going to make a workout for this soon, and then I'll put that online as well. But have great times with this workout, and I hope it helps you. Okay guys, feel free to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.